The Last of Us, episode 2. I've set the mood. I've got the red LED lights on. I've turned off my lights. Just the red LED lights because we've set the mood this episode because that was fucking insane. That was insane. Cold as hell from the start until the finish. We have so much to get into it, and I want to get into it right away. My name's Isaac, joined by the one and only Joseph, as always. Joseph, initial thoughts. What?
Hey, you're gone.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
What's up?
Sorry, what? What's happening?
I don't know.
Your phone has been taken
Oh,
over by the
okay.
infected.
Yep.
Yeah. No, but what were your initial thoughts on that episode?
So I think it was a lot more creepier.
Bloody hell. Bloody oath, bro.
Yeah. No, it was creepy. It was scary. I think
It was.
this was like the first time seeing a different type of infected. We saw the clicker, obviously, during the middle part.
Yeah, it was creepy as hell, especially like in the middle of it when all the infected started coming out and then when they were getting chased.
Yes.
Oh. But let's start from the start. Let's work our way through from the start to the end of the episode. The first 10 minutes were very cold. It was like the start of these shows, episode 1, the start with the interview, cold as hell. First 10 minutes of this one, with the lab and the professor talking about how they will, defeat the virus and what they can do, and she, can't do anything, and...
Yeah, so I think, was that place, so in the first episode when Sarah and Joel are talking, they're having breakfast, was it Chikara, I think? They mentioned a place.
Yeah,
Was that
that
the
was
same
where
place?
it was, yep, in Indonesia, yeah, the exact same place it was, yeah, that was... I was watching... I was just watching a breakdown of the episode before from ScreenCrush. I'll link him down below. I recommend all you guys to go watch his Last of Us episode 2 breakdown, every Easter egg and hidden detail. He gets into so much. There are so many Easter eggs that align with episode 1 and 2. With he goes into about that color of objects. The writers of this are freaking smart and creative as hell. What ScreenCrush gets into, you guys go watch his breakdown of it. It probably best breakdown out there on YouTube. I reckon he did it. I'll link it down below. He gets into some crazy stuff, hidden details in Easter eggs, and he was going on about from episode 1 of reflections of people who are infected, and then how it contrasts with episode 2, colors in both episodes. Yeah. Even words, he gets real into it. So I reckon go watch his episode, guys. His breakdown, it was very good. But yeah, those first 10 minutes with the professor, she goes into the lab and she's looking at the virus and she goes and it's cold as hell. And we had a good 3 minutes of no dialogue at all. It was right at the start when there was no dialogue. The first line was obviously when they're talking the other language, Indonesian or whatever. I'm sorry for your lunch. That was the first line. I was 2-3 minutes in, and that start was so good. The start of these episodes are fire, and this show is gonna live up to it all.
It has already, I believe. We know how important the game is to a lot of people, to the gaming franchise. It is renowned to be such a well-written, story-driven game, and so the way that they're putting it onto the screen, it's just, I'd say it's almost perfect, and they give so much respect to the game. Even in the first episode, they do so much, and in this episode, I feel like this episode, it wasn't as blockbuster. It wasn't as out there.
No,
I think it's just starting to establish the new world, because I know of a few people who haven't played the game, and you're you're petrified because you can hear all these sounds. You know what's out there, but you don't know how close it is. And they kind of capture that in the game, in the show. Sorry, like as I was talking about before, when they were going through, was it the? Oh, it wasn't the museum. The museum was the second room. It was the second place they went to.
The
But
first
where
room
they
when...
went to the first building.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the hotel.
With the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like there was a little fun period with Ellie and
It
Joel. They were
was
being cool.
very good character development. This episode had very good world building and
Yeah.
character development.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what I think this episode did really well.
Yeah.
Because we also learned a lot about how they work. Like Tess, I think, was explaining that you step on, like they're all connected.
Yeah.
And so,
Exactly.
yeah, but the opening to the episode, I think, it's really setting the tone for the show, and it just keeps it keeps like leveling up every time. The intensity, every episode brings up the intensity. Like when they were talking, one of the last things that they're talking about, like in the opening scene, we have to bomb everybody. We have to bomb the city and everybody.
Yeah. The professor person says, like the soldier military guy says, so how are we going to defeat this virus? And there's a long pause. And she says, bomb the city. And then we get the intro screen. Such a cold start. Oh, it set the tone for the episode. And I think that's what these
really
intros are doing well.
It is. I think they're going to try to do this one for every episode, or at least for most episodes. It's just we will learn more and more about it, like the outside world.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm really enjoying that.
Me too.
Even if it's just snippets.
Like I've played up until where Sarah dies in the video game, and so I had no idea what was going to happen in this episode. I was going in completely blind, and I was shocked by a lot of the stuff that happened, especially the end, which we will get into very soon. But you know, I'm loving Ellie, Joel, and Tess as a trio. Well, not trio anymore. You know, Ellie's a smart, don't give a f kid, and you know, her like actions, how she talks, really shows she didn't have a childhood, hasn't had a childhood, doesn't know any better, and that's being portrayed very, very well.
It is.
I know you've played the video game. I obviously haven't played up to this part of the video game, but is it like still the same? Or I know you haven't played it for a long, long time.
Yeah, it's a little hard to remember, but
yeah, you're going in basically blind as well.
But basically, I mean, I know bits and I remember bits and pieces. I remember the ending, but that's because I think there was I think I watched a YouTube video about like saddest endings or something a few 2-3 years ago, and so it reminded me of the ending. So I won't.
Alright, yeah.
I won't talk about that. Not yet, at least. Not until we see it. But I didn't remember Tess dying. I knew she did.
Yeah,
I just didn't remember how.
Shocked that early into the show. We'll get into it soon, but yeah, you know, I'm really invested in the show right now. Like, obviously, I'll be going in the rest of the show completely blind. The end of episode 1 got me really invested, and the end of episode 2 has got me way more invested. And like, holy crap, this! I can't wait to play the video game. I'm gonna finish the show. I'm gonna go finish the show completely blind because I want to get that first experience of the story, and then I'm gonna go play the video game. And I can't wait for that because so like you get invested so easily.
I'm gonna do the exact same. I'm gonna do that and then
play the game again.
Before season 2, I'm gonna do Last of Us Part 2. I know it's not as well received and it's controversial.
Yeah, it's really 50-50. A lot of people love it, like absolutely love it. And then, you know, a lot of people absolutely love it, and then there's a lot that absolutely hate it. And like they say that Part 2 ruined the franchise for them, and they're never gonna go back to it.
Yeah.
I know Theory said about he loves The Last of Us Part 1, and he said he hated Part 2. He's not gonna watch the TV show because of Part 2, and he's never gonna go back to the game because of Part 2. So but then I have a mate that absolutely loves part 2, and part 2 is his favorite game. It's just like
I
I
think,
can't wait to play both. Be interesting.
yeah,
So, yeah. But one
it'll
other
be interesting
thing.
to see how much parallel you pull from a game.
Yeah, yeah,
Replaying it more recently, you're going to pick up on a lot
yeah.
more stuff.
Because obviously I'm not gonna pick anything up that aligns with the
Yeah,
video game because I haven't played it. But episode 1, that first 30 minutes, this is why the first 30 minutes of episode 1 is my favorite so far, because it aligns so much well with the video game, the parts I've played, and I'm sure the rest of the show will and does, but I'm not gonna notice that because I haven't played the rest of the game. Um, and that the first half. So I liked the first half of episode 1 better than the first half of episode 2, but I liked the second half of episode 2 better than the second half of episode 1, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the second half of this episode was crazy. It was so good. The tension, by the way,
Yeah,
probably
it
my
really went up
favorite.
another level.
It did. Probably my favorite thing about this episode was the tension. When the three were hiding behind the cabinet and there was one of the infected. Oh, it was so damn
Yeah,
good. And then the
those are
chase.
clickers.
Joel was getting attacked. It was so good. Even the music.
Yeah,
It's on par to my favorite music from a piece of media at the moment. First will always be Star Wars. That will always have the best music. But this music, at the moment, is on par to be my like the best music from media I've ever heard. Like, it is so damn good. I love it. It makes it so much more better. Without music, nothing is as good as it is.
yeah, yeah. Without a good score, some movies struggle.
Yeah. If something doesn't have good music, good score, good original score, then it's not going to be the same as a movie that does have good score, original score, good music. You got to have that, and that's something I love about The Last of Us. It's original score as well. Whenever I put up Instagram stories about it, I always use the original Last of Us score. It's so
Yeah,
good. I love it. I could listen to it all day.
I
And
am. I believe that this could be on track to be one of my favorite TV shows.
me too. Me too. Yeah, me too. Obviously, episode 1, I'm still standing by. The best premiere to any show I've ever watched. Standing by. I'm still saying it. I absolutely loved it. And yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And but that chase scene with the infected, so good, so good. I was sitting there. I was like, had my knees up on my chair, sitting back, like, holy shit. It was crazy.
it was. Yeah, even though half the audience already knows what's happening, it still kept the tension.
Yeah, it was one of the most intense. One of the most
Yeah,
intense scenes I've ever watched.
yeah. Somehow, although at least as I said, like half of the audience knows the ending, it's still being so well received.
Mm. Mm.
The only real complaint about that, the only real complaint that I've heard about is just the actress who plays Ellie doesn't look that
Bella
much like her.
Ramsey.
Yeah, that is the only problem that people have with this show. But I can look past it because I think she is doing an amazing job playing Ellie.
But look at every video game adaptation,
Yeah,
every movie remake. You're never gonna get an identical actor. You never.
I don't think I don't. As much as I love him, I
You
don't think
you can't. Yeah, you can't have the both. You can't have the identical. You can't have.
Yeah,
You can't have someone looking identical to the original character and being as good as the original character, like the actor. She's a fantastic actor. Yeah, maybe she doesn't look identical, but what would you rather? A very good
yeah.
actor or
Somebody who looks more like her.
someone who looks more accurate, but is this the total shit show?
Okay, but nobody's pointing out. It may just be me, but as much as I love him, Pedro Pascal doesn't look that much like Joel. Like, he looks more
He's
like
got
Joel than
yeah,
Ellie, than Bella Ramsey looks like
yeah.
Ellie. But still, not to a drastic level.
No.
I'm sure you could find other people out there who look more like him.
Oh, definitely. He's got the beard and stuff,
Only
but
like that.
being like a male, I think it would be like
It's easy to get rid of.
easier to look like someone. If you can go
Yeah,
facial hair, and if your bone structure is the same, like
yeah,
Pedro Pascal is playing an amazing Joel. I don't reckon they could have got
yes,
anyone better. I really don't
yeah,
think they could have hired anybody better than Pedro Pascal. He's on top of the world
yeah.
right now. Gonna have
But
two
Bella
massive
Ramsey,
shows out at once in March.
yeah, he will be. It's his year.
It is. It
But
is.
Bella Ramsey, I think she's doing a really good job. Like, she was really funny. I think she was like, "I have a gun," and they're like, "No," and they're
Yeah.
like, she's like, "Nah,
Oh, this
okay, I'll
use
just
my
throw some
sandwich.
sandwiches at them then."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's one thing I was gonna say. Like Ellie is acting like a kid, and I think that portrays really well that she didn't have a childhood. Like even when they were in like the water, and she goes over to that like counter and pretends she's ordering, and then moves the thing or whatever. That's being portrayed very well. That she didn't have a childhood. Very well.
Yeah, yeah. She's she
Very
talks
good.
about having like knowing where Detroit is because she's read books.
Yeah, and school.
Yeah, in school, that's right. It's all. I think I think she's doing a really good job, and I don't think she deserves the hate that she's getting.
No way. No way at all. She's doing an amazing job. Portraying Ellie very good. Like the character, like she's portraying the character very well, I think. And the whole adventure of this episode. They're in the open world. They're outside. Very good world building. Very good character development for what's going to come, and setting up a very good journey.
Yeah, I don't know how they've done it. The city that they're in just like it looks
I know.
amazing.
Yeah. The visuals are amazing. They are treating this show like it's a movie, and it's freaking amazing, and it deserves it. It is very,
Yeah,
very good. Visuals,
I
they,
don't know how they do it though. I understand that side of it, but it looks amazing. The setting
mm,
when they're in the hotel, like they have it with the water and everything, and then yeah, later on when I think they're in a museum when
yeah,
Tess sacrifices herself,
yeah,
uh, and there's like a ton of infected running by.
mm.
It's all just everything that they do just comes down to like, it just everything they do just looks amazing.
Oh, it definitely does, and I'm really happy they're treating this, because TV shows don't get treated well enough, I don't think, and that's one thing I think
Yeah,
that's bad, that a lot of companies are moving over to TV shows and movies. They don't get the amount of treatment they should, but this show, HBO have done an incredible job doing this show, and I don't think anyone else could have done this show other than HBO. HBO get a lot of crap for stuff they do, but this is one thing I think they have done very, very well, and oh,
it'll also give them
seven
like
episodes
a
to go. So,
backbone
mm,
to
exactly.
do more after
Yep.
this.
Yep. Like,
With the already success of this show, if they don't do a season 2,
no,
somebody deserves to get fired.
they're definitely going. I think they've confirmed the season 2. Well, yeah, they've confirmed. I'm pretty sure, might be wrong, but next season 2 and 3 will be part 2 of their game. So they're gonna split it up, because part 2 is so long. They're gonna make it
Yes, it is.
within 2 seasons. So season 2 will be the first half of part 2, and season 3 will be the second part of part 2, and then they're gonna make part 3 video game, and then part 3 season 4. That'll be ages. That'll be ages. 2030s.
Yeah, yeah. Again, if like the same kind of thing, if Sony doesn't capitalize on the
Mm,
success of the show
yeah,
and the games, obviously the games,
yeah.
very successful games. Although yes, controversial the second one. The first one, still amazing. People will come back, and if the show does it more justice, they need to pump it more out. Like, well, I think the second one also kind of ended on a cliffhanger. So
It did. Joel walks away. Ellie's standing there outside the museum place right after Tess.
Oh, I'm talking about the second game.
Oh, well, I didn't even know what the hell happened. Second game.
Yeah. I believe it. I believe it ends in cliffhanger. So Sony need to make another game, and then
Yeah.
HBO need to capitalize on it. Like they need to ping pong off each other with
Yeah.
like for success.
What
TV show does well,
what
the game.
a lot of people that love part 2 are kind of worried about season 2 and 3 because of the amount of controversy for part 2. The people that love it think they might change it up for
I'm not
season
sure
2
if they're
and 3.
allowed to.
Well, I mean, they're allowed to because they're both. It's not like the
It
video
isn't.
game
Yeah,
like follows the road of the TV show. It's just like a
it
adaptation.
is
It's
an
like
individual title.
yeah. And
So I suppose realistically they could do that if they want to. Yeah,
they
you're right.
could change it up, but I don't know. I haven't played the second game. I don't know how I feel about it, but yeah, I don't know.
It's all very exciting though.
Oh yeah. That the second half of this episode was freaking incredible. I loved it, and that ending, creepy as hell, but so cool. You know, I never got up to this part of the game, and I couldn't believe Tess was already gone. Like, obviously, they see all the infected rising and swarming, and and she like puts like oil on the ground and like grenades and stuff. Joel and Ellie run away. She stays in there, and they all come in. She's standing there. They're all bombarding in. Tess is trying to light the fire. She can't light the lighter, of course.
Yeah.
And then one of the infected comes up to her. It's freaking creepy. And that
What?
person who gave her the last kiss, that was creepy as hell. But that guy looked like freaking Tommy. That guy looked exactly like Tommy. I know it's not, but when I saw them, like, what the hell is that, Tommy? Because I wouldn't know. Maybe it was Tommy. Maybe Tommy did get infected. But I did some research, and it's not Tommy. I don't think it is. But it looked hella like Tommy.
Yeah, no, it did, and just that whole that kiss thing that was
That
weird.
was
I didn't like that.
creepy. Oh, bro, it was the. I was drinking a tea at that time, and I spat it out. It was disgusting. Yeah, it was weird. It was creepy. But it was like, yeah, it really shows what the show is. Like, there's gonna be a lot
Yeah,
more of that. I bet you that it was. Oh, it's creepy though. Like, gave me shivers. Like, and then obviously Tess finally got the lighter, put it down, kaboom. Now it says Joel and Ellie on their adventure, and it's gonna be really interesting to see where they go because I'm going in blind. The rest of the show, 7 episodes left. We'll be here doing our weekly review for them all. But that episode, okay, what do you rate it out of 10? We gave
still
the
10.
you gave the first episode 10 out of 10, correct?
Yeah.
I gave the first episode 10 out of 10. Episode 2, what do you give it?
Still a 10 out of 10.
Me too. The Last of Us
I think
episode 2, 10 out of 10 from me as well.
I have a feeling that because we know that the at least for Rotten Tomatoes the critic score is 99. I have a feeling that there's only going to be one episode that drops down to like 96. It's not a great episode. I have a feeling I may know what episode it could be.
Well, so on Rotten Tomatoes right now, so the whole show is 97% Rotten Tomatoes. So that's
97,
every
okay.
episode added up. That's every episode added up is 97%. So that means the lowest episode will get like 93 or something.
Yeah, you can work out the averages.
Yeah, because episode
One
1,
episode could be like 70,
episode
and
1,
then the rest are 100.
true. Episode 1 got 100%. Episode 2 got 92%.
There you go.
Jesus. And obviously episode 3 and the rest aren't out yet.
Yeah.
And then on IMDb, the whole season is 9.4 out of 10. And the episodes, so episode 1 got 9.2 out of 10 from 33,000 reviews. And
Yeah.
episode 2 got 9.5 out of 10 from 7,000 reviews.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but I am like at the moment the show's at what, like 9.7, did I say 9.4? 9.4 out of 10. That is very good for IMDb.
It is.
Very good, because anyone can vote on that. Anybody, any single person. But Rotten Tomatoes, you obviously have the audience and the critic score for Rotten Tomatoes. And critics is 97, audience is 95. I don't know how the audience work. I think Rotten Tomatoes get the audience from like Google reviews and IMDb and like everything that we can vote on, and then obviously 97% from the critics is obviously critics. So it's been well received by all audiences, audiences
Really?
and critics, and it's really good.
And it doesn't look like it's slowing down either.
Oh, no way. One thing I thought we were about to get, but we didn't. After they went through that like swamp, not swamp, but like the water. You know, they walk through the water, and then Tess has to like climb through this place so they can open the door to get through further. You know that bit? This is just before they get attacked. So Joel and Ellie are sitting there, and Ellie is asking Joel questions like, where are you from, blah blah blah. I really thought she was gonna ask like, do you have kids? And I'm like, oh, please ask that question, because I'm like, oh, we could get some Sarah flashbacks.
Yeah, not quite yet, but
You reckon we will? I hope so.
yeah, no, we do.
I really hope so.
It's getting good, and it's still
Yes.
good. This is only, I think I'd say this is only a little bit far through the game, like maybe 2 hours through the game.
Wow. Yeah. So there is so much more to come. 7 episodes left. We both rate it 10 out of 10. So the show right now, episode 1 and 2 combined, 10 out of 10. Easy. That is very good for them as well.
We'll get an average score at the end.
Yeah,
We'll get so 2 10 out of 10s right now, so we're on 20.
Yeah, we're on 20 at the moment. And
the highest is 90.
The highest we can get is 90. So we're currently at 20 out of 90 after 2 episodes, meaning we're at 100% after seeing 2 episodes. So that's that's good. And I'm really excited for the rest of this show. Guys, let us know what you thought, because this show's going to get good. And we're going to, it was a good length this episode as well. It's 50 million hour. Episode 3 is apparently at 80 minutes.
Good.
Bro, it's so good. Like, it's like movie length. We're basically getting like movies. Like, episode 1 nearly a movie length. Episode 3 is nearly going to be a movie length. Episode 2 was TV length. So after 9 episodes, we could have like 4, like all of them together could be like 4 movies.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And yeah, guys, let us know what you thought. We loved it, and we'll be back for our review of The Last of Us episode 3. I think it's going to be really good as well. That episode, I think the rest of the show, it's on fire, and I'm freaking loving it. Like, I'm going in blind since last episode, and I was really shocked what happened in this episode, but it was so good. I've watched it 1.5 times. I've watched it 1 full time, and then I got about halfway second viewing, but I'll finish that off and definitely watch it again before episode 3. But guys, that's our review for The Last of Us Season 1, Episode 2. Let us know what you guys thought. And yeah, that was freaking insane. Alright guys, we'll catch you guys later. I'm gonna edit this, get this real up for you guys. Alright guys, thanks guys. Alright, talk to you later. Bye bye. See you guys.
Yeah.